Okay, so I'm going to show you an example that is almost identical in, well, I mean, except for the picture's a little different, the numbers are different, but other than that, it's exactly like what is on the Unit 5 test part 2. So this should help you to go through that test and do great on it. You should be able to watch this and do the assignment and send it in and hopefully get 100% credit on it. Just as a reminder, don't forget that you do need to show all work. Okay, so a container company wants to design a cardboard container in the shape of a triangular prism as shown. Find the surface area of the container, show your work. Alright, show your work. You will get no credit if you show no work. Okay? So what I need to do first is remember the surface area formula. Remember that surface area was 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter times the height. So the first thing I need to do is find the area of the base. This base is a triangle. So since this is a triangle, the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle, which in this case is 1/2 times the base, which would be 1 inch, times the height, which would be 0.6 inches. So I have a base of 1/2 times 1 times 0.6. I'm going to go ahead and do that in a calculator, which is 0.3. Although I probably could have done that in my head, but I didn't. That was kind of dumb. So the area of my base is 0.3. Now I need to know my perimeter. If I look at the base there, I see it's 3 sides, all 1 inch. So my perimeter is 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3. Now I can plug this into the general surface area formula and say, okay, it's 2 times the area of the base, which is 0.3, and plus the perimeter, which was 3, times the height here, which is 5 inches. So I'm going to simplify 0.6 plus 6, so I get surface area equals 6.6. 6.6 inches squared, because it is surface area. So this is good. So notice that I did show all the work. I started by writing the formulas, and then I plugged in the numbers. I broke it all down. I even wrote the formula for the base separately and the formula, or the work for the perimeter separately, so that I keep everything very organized and don't get myself lost. And I showed all my work. Big deal there. Okay, the next part of this problem asks you to find the volume. So since I'm finding the volume, I need the volume formula. Reach way back in your memory to when we did the volume. Volume of a prism was the area of the base times the height. I actually already calculated the area of the base, so there's no reason to show that work again. I can just pull it right from here, because I already calculated the area of the base earlier, and say, okay, the base is 0.3, so then the volume is at 0.3 times the height, which was 5. So the volume is 1.5. It was inches, and because it's volume, it would be cubed. Okay, so it is 0.3 times 5, 1.5 inches cubed. That's the volume. The volume is always the easiest one to do, So now, the third question that it's going to ask you is, it's going to say here that the company will manufacture the container if the surface area to volume ratio is less than 1. Determine whether the company should manufacture the container. Show and explain your work. Okay, so I'm going to start by saying, okay, I want a ratio of surface area to volume needs to be less than a ratio of 1. Okay, so that's also to say surface area divided by volume needs to be less than 1. So I'm going to test that and see if it works. I'm going to go back to the other work I did. Surface area was 6.6. So that's 6.6. And my volume was 1.5. I'm going to say, okay, so what is that fraction? If I divide that, 6.6 divided by 1.5 is 4.4. So is it true that 4.4 is less than 1? No! So they are not going to manufacture this container because the surface area to volume ratio is not less than 1. Now, this one says show and explain your work. I have been talking, so I have verbally explained my work. What you could say, for example, here is say that the surface area is larger than the volume. So the ratio is greater than 1. And so they will not make this container. That would be a reasonable explanation of what I did here. Is that since my surface area was divided by the volume and surface area was bigger, it ends up being greater than 1, so I'm not gonna be able to do that. Okay? So hopefully, again, if you follow the same basic idea here, your base will be a little different. I believe that your assignment might have a right triangle, so the base and the height are going to look a little different, but it's the same idea. You're still going to use the same formulas. I am not going to tell you that your answer should be no on this third problem. Your answer might be yes. I'm not saying that it is yes. I'm saying that you'll need to set up the ratio yourself, determine if it's less than 1, and explain your work or your answer, and make sure that you show your work, okay? So once again, this was the 5.13 Unit 5 Test Part 2 example. Please do make sure to do and turn it in, okay? It's very important that you turn it in. Also a reminder, you can redo this assignment over and over and over again, so make sure to look at my feedback after I grade it and consider redoing it, or even come to Live Help and get my help redoing it, because I will help you through it if you still have trouble with it. Okay? Good luck!